Lauren Smith Fields, student, friend, sister, and daughter. She was loved by her peers, and her passing left a hole in the hearts of the people that she knew. Lauren passed away December 12th, 2021 at age 23 under mysterious circumstances. Today, we will put ourselves in Lauren's shoes and look at the life of somebody gone too soon. We're going to talk about Lauren today. And with me, as almost always, is Queen Lux.
Hello.
And also with me, as always, is Arianthe here in our Discord. Hello, Arianthe. Can you hear me?
I can. Hello.
All right. We're going to start today with Bridgeport, Connecticut. This is where Lauren was born. And I feel like a look around the Norwalk Community College, it would be a good place to start.
Absolutely.
Lauren was enrolled. Let's see, I will full screen it here. At Norwalk Community College. Pretty beautiful campus. Let's see here. Let me scroll down. Let me go through. Jeez. We entered the premises. I can just have to stay on the street, gang. Anyway. A beautiful place. I haven't looked up yet the curriculum for somebody going to this particular school to become a physical therapist, but that's what Lauren was up to. In college life, seems like it can be hella busy. One thing I've noticed about this town, just something to bring up, is that there's places where it's like if you scroll through Google Maps long enough, it might seem derelict, but you just have to look on the other side of the street. There's just an undeveloped lot every so often, which made me think a lot about the town Arianthe and I are from. It's a lot like that.
Yeah.
You know, just a lot of undeveloped area. All right, let me go back. Let me go back to college. I just wanted to go down this strip here with you guys and show this little campus. This guy's confused. He's on
I was
campus.
gonna say.
This guy,
Dude's like, huh?
is that Google Earth? Yes, and we see you. Lauren seemed like a really healthy individual. Really made me think about the type of person Lauren might be, and the more I dissected the character independently through doing research for this series we're doing, the more both of you came to mind. I feel like Lauren would maybe give me dietary or health advice, like Arianthe would, and
Completely unsolicited.
well, yeah, but in a good way, like from somebody who lives what they preach, you know.
Yeah.
And so rarely do you have people in your life that are like that and are able to do that. You know, actually suggest something that's good for you, but practice what they preach. This lady went to the gym every day. Then potential makes me think about Lux. Infinite potential. YouTube skills. We found Lauren's YouTube, and I want to play a video off of Lauren's YouTube later. Just again, I want to really build the character in our mind and get to know Lauren the best we can if we're gonna start a week of investigating a tragedy. And I just want to know from you guys what that expectation is like. What it's like having to deal with not just furthering the species, but furthering yourself, liberating yourself from a system that's stacked against you. And it feels like Lauren genuinely did everything she could to make that happen. And yeah, I want to know about you what college was like, or what higher education. Arianthe, I know you've been a mother for forever.
12 whole years.
So I understand you've had this added hurdle with a lot of your education. It's where it's you've been a mother through it, right?
Yeah.
And I just wanted to hear from you guys what that's like. I could talk about it and speculate about it, but I don't really know. I don't want you to reveal too much about your personal lives if you're not comfortable with it. But when you were 23, Lux, what was life like?
Ooh,
Were you actively being educated at the time? Were you still in
no.
school?
No, I graduated college at 21.
See, she cracked through stuff quick.
Yeah, I did a lot of weird stuff as a kid that had me wind up graduating from college with a full bachelor's degree at 21. So by 21, I was already in the city, starting my career where I'm at now, which for me is sports entertainment. At the time I had, when it was all said and done, I think I had 3 jobs during that particular time. Probably by 23, I had already gotten my internship that I wanted, but I was able to achieve that through the hard work that I did from 21 to 23 with that same team, with that same stuff we had going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really just fortunate to be able to have family that kept me there and kept me going, kept my eye on the prize kind of thing. And I feel like that maybe she had a little bit of that too, where they're like, don't forget, A, where you come from, and B, where you're going. And I feel like that kind of got me to where I am today. So really at 23, I was just grinding hard, trying to get there.
Really using all of that energy that the universe gives you at 23, huh?
Mm-hmm.
20. I wish I
like it.
a 23
I
year
know
old
we're
body.
I know we're gonna go down into her YouTube videos later, but I did want to say that I did notice that it seemed like her YouTube video was kind of her drive and like what she was grinding in between everything else she was doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go back a little bit further. When I was in college, I did have a full-time job as a supervisor at a little jewelry store.
Right on.
But I had that temporary thing that got me through college. And it kind of sounds like where she was at the time. Maybe she had something else going on other than YouTube. And, typically we do. And that's kind of where I was at 23.
Grinding.
Mm-hmm.
Grinding.
Keeping my eye where I wanted it to be, where I knew I wanted to be with my career and what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And and I feel like eventually she would have gotten there, wherever she was going.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, agreed.
It's just it's a matter of your goals and what you want to do.
It really is. It really is.
For yourself.
Yeah. Arianthe,
Yes, sir.
rewind the clock when you were 23.
Oh, gosh.
Do you have anything you care to tell us about your life?
I was a mom, and I come from a very different space, I think. I didn't have the family behind me that was like, keep your eye on the prize and go for it. Instead, I think what drove me was just my kid.
Yeah.
I was really young. I was a young mom. I was a mom by 19, and at 23, he was already, trying to self-destruct as they do.
That's it's wild. I couldn't imagine having to juggle. At 23, I was kind of a wreck. I've been raising children, I feel like, for a while, but
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine, again, the act of giving birth. That was,
Yeah.
when it comes to, the press keeps bringing up Lauren's presence on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
She must have moved her focus from YouTube to TikTok. We have her YouTube here. And before we watch a video on it, I just wanted to talk about the relationship between social media and someone like Lauren and Lauren's age, and the fact that it was a pandemic too. Like, could you imagine at 23 something like what we're living through now having happened?
No, because if COVID would have happened while I was 23, that probably would have really destroyed any thought that I had about my career.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that and I'm sure that she was trying her best to grind on YouTube, but anybody in our line of work when it comes to social media and YouTubing and all of that will tell you that you don't really get viewers from YouTube. You usually get it from reaching out to other social media platforms, or reaching out through other social media platforms. So she was probably on TikTok a lot because she probably got the views she was looking for to try to attract those viewers to her YouTube.
That makes sense.
Which is what plenty of other influencers do
Yeah.
with other social media platforms.
It's also an expedited way to spend your time and that energy. I like this, something that you've brought up as we're talking about the character of Lauren. The energy of a 23-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of things I could get done at 23 in one day.
Mm-hmm.
Twice what I could get done now. Like, twice of what I could get done now.
Minimum.
It's just, it's so insane. And of course, she'd be drawn to things like TikTok and things that you could quickly do from your phone and have a return, that social benefit during a pandemic. So I just wanted to address that and see what we thought about that and how you guys would handle that. I know that when I was 23, Facebook was definitely around.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I would be reliant on social media to a certain degree,
Yeah, we have to remember it's a pandemic, and a lot of people, not just older people, but a lot of younger people are really suffering because they can't go out and do the social things that they were doing before. So maybe she used TikTok as a social outlet,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see here. We have her parents.
Mm-hmm.
Everett Fields. Let me get their names right. I don't want to misspeak. Where did they go? It was gonna be in the opening monologue. It wasn't.
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to find it real quick?
I've got it right here.
Oh.
Everett Smith of Bridgeport, Connecticut. So this is really for our benefit. If you want to know this information, I suppose you can find it yourselves. I'm not going to put it too large on screen right now, but I will describe what we're looking at, and we will all do our best to describe what we're looking at. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
This is Lauren's father's home. Her parents are divorced, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And this home is beautiful. It is 2-story, suburban, tree in the backyard, garage space,
Driveway.
It's gorgeous. And almost a historic part of Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is an older home, you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we have
Beautiful upstairs patio.
yeah. We have also the residence of Lauren's mother, and I believe she's been here for a while. And while it's an apartment, it's still in a historic building.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of difficult at times to get the best shot, but
It almost reminds me of how houses look in San Francisco.
exactly.
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There is, I think, a lot to be said about somebody by their upbringing. Two different things we just heard from Arianthe and Lux was kind of the difference in motivation from the parental figures, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to talk about the type of parental figures Lauren might have had. Everett Smith seems like a very well-spoken man. His house definitely seems like he has a job where he is of value,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And
Yeah.
Chantel Fields, Lauren's mother, described Lauren as a daddy's girl. And I have a feeling she took a lot of the things he might have said to heart and might have moved forward in life with that type of gusto and potential. Chantel also seems like somebody who probably had to jump through hoops as a single mother to make things work and had the deck stacked against her, but made it work.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely didn't. I've yet to find any threads from any social media post from Lauren or anybody peripherally attached to her or like familially attached to her that there was any real outward tension or drama like that.
Right.
And I think that's of note and very interesting, just considering there is an amount of press coming from a camp attached to a defense attorney who's saying things implying people are of character that they are obviously not. And there's really no better way to demonstrate this than to really speak about Lauren's parents, who also, despite being divorced, are together during the press conferences and marches.
Mm-hmm.
And that speaks volumes. That's massive.
Yeah.
It speaks to their character types, in my opinion.
They seem like two very motivating people.
Mm-hmm.
And it also seems like they really motivated Lauren. And what I mean by that is I know I grew up in that household where my parents were divorced, but my parents were also very adamant about me going to college and about me figuring out what my goals were and what I wanted to do. Not necessarily out of that whole you need to find a job and get out of my house kind of thing, but more like you need to go to college because that's good for you kind of thing. Like my parents come from a different background in certain ways where they were like, yes, college is something you need to do. You need to go ahead and get through that, get it over with. So I did. And honestly, it was probably one of the better decisions I've made in my life, specifically for my situation, because I wound up getting a business management degree. That's actually what I went to college for, was business.
Well,
not for entertainment.
interesting. That's just how life works when you're young.
But
yeah.
I'm sure that she had her own motivations and her own goals that she wanted to reach. And that's why she went to college. And that's probably the path that her parents pushed her towards and was like, this is something that's good for you, something that you should look into,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And I'm sure that they supported her and motivated her with whatever she wanted to do with that degree, as long as she got it.
Yeah. I mean, it had to have been endlessly proud how well she must have been doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's, that's what they've said in the press,
Mm-hmm.
It's tragic. Fitness. I am spectacularly bad at taking care of myself. And anybody who is dedicated to taking care of themselves, like it seemed Lauren was into, respect. And it says a lot to me about your character.
Mm-hmm.
Says a lot to me about your character, and
I mean, there's just a
that
certain
has
way.
to translate into her collegiate work ethic.
Yeah, there's a certain way that she liked to carry herself, and a
Yeah.
certain way she probably grew up learning to carry herself. She took care of her body. She worked out quite a bit. She got her nails done. She got her hair done. She liked to do her hair, and we'll see that later too. But there was just certain things about herself that she liked to maintain.
Yeah.
And I personally feel like that's healthy.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. I've seen Arianthe with those nails done too. Like, no doubt. Both parents' homes, again, seem beautiful and like there was genuine love provided, even from a split
Mm-hmm.
couple.
Yeah, it really did seem like even though they weren't necessarily together,
Yeah.
they made sure to let her know that they not only respected her and her time, but she should also respect herself. They seemed to set a real precedent of how she should respect herself and expect others to respect her.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that in her parents too. That
Yeah.
they both respected themselves. They respect themselves, and they know how to teach that in their kids.
Mm-hmm.
Because even her brothers, she has two brothers.
I believe she has two brothers, yes.
Like they all just they do hold themselves
Mm-hmm.
in a certain way that's very respectable, and seems like they either understand who they are and they're proud of who they are, or they know how to respect themselves.
Self-awareness
Yeah.
is just, one of the first times Lux and I hung out, her awareness of being a woman and alone in a city, and just being of your genetic makeup, like you were aware where you were and what, and it speaks volumes to me. Someone that's self-aware. Like that, it says something. And it's about the way you delivered it too, like explain, like, I'm sorry, like you did it with a joke, I believe. But in a way that was like, oh yeah, no, you're right. That is wild. It's wild. Oh. Moving on, let's hop to this YouTube.
Yeah. Let's do it.
It's Lala Smith on YouTube. We watched this early. You think we should pop this one on?
Yeah.
Let's do this one. I'll mute through the intro. Just in case he's. I also said no music on this stream.
It's Lauren, and do you guys like my red hair? I'm vlogging on my phone because I don't have my camera, and I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna give you guys I'm gonna dye two wigs today. One's gonna be a periwinkle ice blue, like a pastel blue, and then one's gonna be a bright orange.
Mute through a little bit of the music in the fast motion, so maybe we can talk a bit. When we watched this the first time, Lux was talking about got to get the roots
Yes.
darker than the tips.
Yes.
And how her
it
form
makes
is-
it look
is,
more natural, and she
yeah.
knows how to do that.
Yeah. Which, yep. I like it. It's normally on Facebook where I get lost into some hair makeup videos that show up in your feed. Yeah. Like, and I'll just get like, oh, did I just blow 15 minutes watching someone dye a wig? I don't know.
Bye. I took off the red wig. It's literally like right there. I'm sorry I'm not like together right now, but I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna stall the blue wig for you guys. So we're gonna get into that. Yes. So this time since I'm gonna take this off as soon as I put it on, I'm not gonna put on a stocking cap. So I'm just going to install it, curl it and everything, and then show you guys, and then put on a different wig. You guys saw me dyeing this. I dipped it a couple more times. It's a little bit more pigmented now. I know it looks like a whole different wig from what I seen earlier, but it's definitely more pigmented, as in it's definitely more bluish than the grayish purplish.
You commented when she was dyeing it too that it's I know I used you saying she was doing things to make it, look like real hair on a wig.
Mhm.
And I made a jab at Cowboy Bebop.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I was explaining to him that there was just certain things she was doing to make it look finished and complete and natural on her specific head. He was like, "Oh, so the stuff that Cowboy Bebop wasn't doing with Faye."
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I was like, "Yes, exactly."
Yes.
She is a master with a straight razor here for a minute. She like layers this wig like hardcore.
Like, you can tell she either taught herself to do that and she's did it for a long time, or that's something that she was doing growing up and stuff that she learned from her mom
Yeah.
and other female figures.
As somebody who sits around and makes, YouTube videos, and I'm growing as an editor all the time, I feel like the editing skills are like I'm kind of hella jelly. Got a knack for it.
Oh, this is the part where she's layering it. That's what you were talking about earlier with the razor.
Yeah.
She's truly better than a lot of professionals I've seen.
She really is.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell she tried to make it a short video, but she still put a lot of work into it.
You can tell she must have I bet you she was really stoked and like that's hers. The chair, the foldy chair in the back, the ring light, this isn't just an apartment space.
This is
she
her
really
first
put a lot of herself
home.
into it. Yeah.
This is probably her first home, like her
Yeah.
first time being on her own in her own place outside of her parents.
Yeah.
And I know that there's especially for women, younger women like that. I know that this space for me is very sacred.
Yeah.
Like, my home is my home.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a long time for someone to get adjusted to that idea and to really get comfortable in a space that's theirs.
Yeah. It's like she genuinely did that and did it on her own accord.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'm
She
guessing,
had plans.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
She very clearly had
I mean,
plans.
she was in
Look at the
college.
setup.
This could be, for all we know, this could also be a dorm.
Yeah, well, do you see the
but-
heater there? That's a historic downtown apartment somewhere. So she had a cool, you know, her mother had it seemed like what was probably a cool apartment too. So, let's
So
see
she
here.
probably knew who to go apartment shopping with.
There you go. Exactly.
inches. And I didn't want it that long, but that's why, because I usually get like 24 or 26. You can tell I'm feeling myself. Like, you can tell I'm feeling myself. Thanks for watching.
See, that's a good edit.
Please like.
She roasted herself with that edit.
Yeah, she threw the Waka
She's like-
Flocka in there. That's,
She probably hated that she said that when she was
Yeah.
editing it, so she threw that
Yeah.
meme in.
yeah. No, let's see here. There's only 3 videos on this channel.
Now, have you explored her Instagram any?
Have I?
She's so cute. She's really funny.
Oh yeah. I haven't. I've just seen clips from things put on social media, but I managed to find like her from a year ago. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. She has this one video on her Instagram that cracked me up.
Already bleached it.
Okay, so here's
the
her.
knots, and I tinted the, well, I didn't tint the hair, but
It's just
I made it
set up
out
from
of
April 13th of 2020.
So it's like 24 inches. And I'm gonna clip the ends a little bit more. So I can
Her
feel like
space.
that natural
Like you
wig.
said, I've kind of
But this is like another wig of mine. I'm gonna take this wig off and put this.
everything in there's hers. You
I'm
can
about to
tell. Wow.
get into it. First of all, I want to show y'all this lace though. Like, okay, so this is Swiss lace. I already bleached the knots. Swiss lace, and it's like.
It's so wild to see in a hand for someone like me, for a schmo like me, whose idea of like doing hair is putting this beanie on so the headphones don't make me bald.
That's fair.
Motherfucking scalp. That's how it's gonna be. You see that? That's how it's gonna motherfucking be.
That's pretty
Okay,
cool.
So I put my stocking cap on, and I'm about to show y'all how I do it. And I cut out my ear. Okay.
Oh, be careful.
I know this part always makes me so nervous.
These scissors are dark
Ooh.
as fuck. But like, imagine me bald-headed.
I like her candor. We did make it definitely past the first minute before we cursed on this stream. So I'll be damned if I would ever say anything about Lauren cursing or censor one of her videos.
So boom bam. And I do that to the other side. So I do this because when I want to keep my scalp, well, when I want to keep the stocking cap on while I spray it, I don't want circulation to be cut in or whatever. And I want this right here to be sealed. Well, I just started using, I usually use this. This has got to be the Volume Manic. I got this one, it's like not too different from the other one, but I got this one because it's pink and I love pink. But I use this because the way
a good
it
reason.
dries, it looks
Yeah.
like my scalp when it dries and how it's put on. So I'm gonna put, I don't wanna fuck up my eyebrows, but I'm gonna put this on, one layer of this. This is going to take like
That's
45
interesting
minutes.
to
The
me.
30 minutes
I
later,
had no clue. I've
it's
never
going to dry.
necessarily seen this
While this is
process.
drying, I I do like to.
I don't wear wigs.
Obviously.
I was never.
Gonna be gorgeous
I-
natural hair.
Well, I never really was taught that. Um,
I just have to
and you know, my stepmom,
this corn.
she usually braided my hair, and I know like my stepsisters would usually have like weave and tracks and stuff like that, but like they never touched my hair because my mom forbade it for the most part. But you know, you see why. Like that you could. There's no coming back if you do that to my hair. I basically have to shave my head.
Oh gosh.
My hair's complicated. But I have seen this process done before.
Oh.
And everybody does it their way.
She likes playing some cooking soul beats,
Mm-hmm.
which I like that.
Did my braids and I greased it with wild glow.
There's been some commonalities from exploring
This right here,
things Lauren favorited and like made public.
baby, this make my hair grow. Anyways,
You know, she's an Action Bronson fan.
Mm-hmm. One of the last videos that she liked on YouTube, like actually pressed the like button
Yeah.
on, was an Action Bronson video.
Yeah. And
I love Action Bronson.
I love Action Bronson. She seems like just a really cool person.
Mm-hmm.
The more I like the common interests, like taste in beats and stuff, like it's Griselda beats and chill.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's looking for those Alchemist beats.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like she's playing the Cookin' Soul remixes and stuff like that for the breaks in her channel. I just find that really cool. You can tell a lot by someone's taste in music, and
Absolutely.
one thing that's kind of punched me in the gut a couple times the more I've looked into Lauren is like, man, she loved dope music. It's like some really good music,
Mhm.
like that I know and love as well. It's just look at that. Yeah, see more Cookin' Soul beats, man. Again, the editing. I'm not like she's anybody out there who has never edited a video for YouTube. That it takes time and it
Mm-hmm.
takes skill.
Yeah, you'll sit in front of the computer for
Yep.
a long time.
It takes self-awareness and comedic timing, and you fail a bunch. And she's got 3 videos up here with like some really well, like these are really well done videos for being the 3 videos here on this YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Like really well done.
She's also got her own beats on in the
I got
background.
it from
You
Yeah.
can see it on the TV.
as
Oh,
In the mirror, she just changed it.
yeah.
their lace. I got a
We do
lace
that.
from
Mhm.
them
We're doing that right now.
We're doing that right now.
Yeah.
the other day.
We've got our own we got our own stuff going on right now.
Oh
Man.
my gosh, the lace is so thin and nice. It's Swiss lace and it's so nice. Like the hair, the frontal of the hair of the hair piece that I got was good, but this is my first time trying their hair in general. So I'm just waiting to see how it is, and hopefully it's good. I'm about to cut the lace, and it's about to be lit. Period. So. How I cut my lace is I cut it in 3 parts. I did put makeup on it, so I cut my lace in the middle. I mean, not the lace, the stocking cap. Oh my god, y'all know what I meant though, right?
I was wondering what you're gonna do with the band.
Cut it in the
Mhm.
middle.
It gets cut off
and
Okay.
after she let all of that set. So she
And that's
gelled
what
it all
holds.
down. She did like a little bit of makeup to like cover up, you know, the rest of what was not like the very top of it, you know.
Oh.
So then you cut the band off. At this point, it's already stuck to her head.
Yeah. And then
Yeah,
now
if
it
you
matches it matches your skin tone. And when you put the lace on, it
Yeah. You learn this really quickly if you do any kind of cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
And cutting off the band scares the heck out of me.
I would imagine
especially
so.
just sticking scissors that close to your ear.
She's so comfortable with just open
She's used
blade.
to it.
Yeah. It's
She has a
Like,
system.
yeah, you figure out your own system and your own way that you're comfortable doing it.
it's so
Everybody does it different too.
Yeah, they really do.
So that basically is the hairline.
She's educated the heck out of you, Mark.
Whoa. No, I'm fascinated endlessly by things like this too. She's managed to make it in the format too of a video that would hold me. If I saw this organically on my Facebook, I'd probably be like, "You're putting what? Where? How's this gonna work? Show me how." This is fascinating, and it's the final product is beautiful, and I think there's something anthropologically beautiful in the fact that like I mean, this is just the kind of wig culture like we had to that start here. You know, it's kind of an American
It's-
thing, like an American form of
Yeah,
really
it's-
cool head covering.
It's
just
pretty
cool.
interesting
It's
how
cool.
you see that a lot of ways that cosplayers do it now and a lot of way that drag queens do it now
Yes,
came from black women.
Yeah, absolutely.
well, that makes sense. That's they're culturally relevant.
That's how I learned.
Yeah. This boom, cutting so close. Like, look, I gotta trim mustache hairs
Like, you gotta-
sometimes, but like,
She
Just
also
makes
has
me
to make
so
sure that she doesn't cut any of those hairs. Or
yeah,
if she does, that it's not gonna like make it weird because like the baby hairs at the top like that, those are crucial to making it look real.
I was gonna say, don't you comb and yeah. All right. This is so wild to me to watch. What is that tool? Like a little comb?
It's a razor.
It's a razor. That's the kind of razor you would use to like trim your eyebrows.
Oh.
Or like just
Yeah.
it's one of those micro razors that you can use to like get the baby hairs off your face.
Oh. So interesting. Not much about cosmetology at all, I suppose. I've done a bit of costume makeup in like junior high, but you guys
Oh yeah, you
show.
did, didn't you?
Yeah. I also thought only women had gallbladders until I was an adult. So,
That's so cute.
you know.
Oh, I wish we could have had that conversation.
I know. I wish I had known that. I would have loved to have that conversation.
Like, what do you mean? What do you mean you don't have a gallbladder?
Those are female problems. Those are. Okay.
She is an expert.
Mm-hmm. She's figuring out those tendrils.
Yeah. And that's what the okay. I get this.
This is such an incredible art form, and I'm just mesmerized by it every time.
And you know, it's what's getting me about Lauren is this is an art form within an art form. She's comfortable enough doing it. She'll do it in front of camera, edit it in post, add effects, roast herself in some occasions, like be comedically self-aware,
Yeah.
and post it. Like that's
what I was talking about earlier with the baby hairs.
yeah.
That's what she's trying to get set up.
Yeah. Wish she was around to tell. Dope editor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you gotta, like, maybe cuts those down?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love seeing you in the camera because you look the same way I do, like mouth slightly agape, completely infatuated.
I am completely, like, this is fascinating. She's flashed that product before.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it. Uh,
Seemed it.
Shiny and just flowy. Girls, this is a secret.
I can't say it enough. Her choice in beats is great. Great. Like every time I click unmute, it pops back to the beats too.
Mm-hmm.
I pop back to a fast forward thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. What is that tool? Is that a little...
That is a hot comb.
A hot comb?
Yeah, it's like a flat iron version of a comb.
Okay.
Where it's actually an electric appliance that you plug in, and it basically does similar to what a flat iron does, but it has a specific use.
Okay.
They didn't have those when I was little.
My aunt used one on me one time. It didn't quite get my hair the way she wanted it, but she tried.
Gotcha.
Because it's not meant to like replace a flat iron by any means. It's really just supposed to do that, like where it just helps you smooth out like difficult parts before you start flat ironing.
Yeah. Let's see if this is... Did she just do a comedic gag with the fisheye lens? Hold up. I saw the fisheye lens filter, and as an editor, I was like, oh, is she flexing those skills again?
Bitch. And the look is done. Do you guys like my edges? This is the finished look.
She's gonna do her edges.
Real natural. Whatnot.
What?
This takes a long time.
It takes so long.
Mm-hmm.
The commitment. She's filming it and editing it too, so that means this is like hours of cut down and speed through, and it's genuinely impressive in my opinion. Nice.
Do you not see this? Hello? Do you not see how thick this was packed on?
That's why I wanted you to come here and do it yourself, honestly.
I can't do my own fucking hair!
Put some of the baby hairs back.
Oh, this is about to be really cool.
Yeah.
So, pictures and threes. The razor, this is better if it's uneven, just so, because baby hairs aren't uneven, so I twist it.
A handy trick.
I use Eco Styler. You want fine baby hair, so.
Just fascinating.
It really is.
I'm jealous of her vanity lights.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I saw that ring light in the back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she'll leave it in too. Like, no, I'm ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I'm funny. Comedically self-aware, just rare to find in someone's like earlier videos.
Yeah, usually people are really awkward and uncomfortable. Not her. Heck no.
Oh, and she brings back the cooking soul. So good. I really do like her taste in music. It's so weird. Like there's been things that have shown it. I'm like, that's in my favorites. What an interesting human. The throw pillows.
Mm-hmm.
Some ladies go hammer with the fuzzy throws. Got it comfy.
I noticed that whenever this video first started. I have the gray one and the white one are on my couch right now.
Dang.
I love some fuzzy throw pillows.
Those are comfy too.
They really
I feel
are.
like we need fuzzy pillows.
Until it's
The
like
pillows I have right
fuzzy
now
to
for
you.
my couch are not fuzzy and they're not very comfy.
Man.
They're kind of stiff.
Yeah. These furry pillows in the background here. Oh, the ooh la la. You could go with a lot of different things when you're at that store looking for just that perfect little filler, that wall filler, you know?
Well, the thing about that though is that that's her name.
Yeah.
Like for her YouTube channel, she's Lala Smith. So I feel
Exactly.
like that's a nickname.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was like, yeah.
Her Instagram is so lala.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
No, this one's Lala Smith. Lala Smith, yeah. Smith Fields, though. She has her ad there.
She does not have enough subscribers.
Not on this one, and I'm wondering if maybe I found like a log somebody made before YouTube pulled it, you know,
Maybe.
or something. Or
Do
maybe
you think YouTube pulls channels like that?
no, but I mean at family request they probably would.
Yeah. Makes me wonder if they did.
I wonder what they do with no communication in an inactive channel or a channel that's like randomly spikes in views and subs to the point it's monetizable. Can't do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, would they just monetize it anyway, knowing nobody would communicate about it? I don't know.
It's definitely an interesting question. I still follow a couple of channels from like 10 years ago of people that have passed away.
Yeah, and they're still around, but it's like
Yeah.
I've seen those be monetized channels. It's like who's catching the check on
Yeah.
that?
Mm-hmm.
Who's catching the
But
check?
just
on-
nothing to this caliber.
Yeah.
So this is the final look
Final
right here.
look.
And
Now we have one more video from this YouTube, and it's a story she tells.
so like, comment, subscribe, and bye guys.
Really?
Have a good one.
And we're gonna check it out. I have not fielded it yet, so we're reacting live together to it. And it's how my first kiss became a fight.
Oh, girl. Like what kind of fight? Yeah, now I need to know.
Yeah, so we're gonna
see,
but you know, just
I said, oh, I see the bitch outside. Like, she with family. I'm about to go fuck her up because she tried me at school. Like, she pressed me about some guy that he wasn't even claiming her. Like, I was like, I'm about to get these.
Welcome to my YouTube channel.
I'm already into it.
First thing I'm uploading on there.
already into it.
So I'm gonna do a story time. I'm gonna do a story time about my first kiss, and it ended up into a fight. I was around like
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
I was like, how'd you get into a fight? You were 13.
You were 13.
There it is.
There it is.
Childhood fight. Yeah.
I really thought I was grown.
I can't make it any louder.
I fight because a boy lied to me.
She got that
Is
microphone.
there
there.
closed captions?
Relationship, and he was at a whole different school. So I was in middle school in South Carolina, and I started talking.
So,
to him, but it was me and my
She went to
best
school in
friend
South Carolina.
South Carolina.
and
So,
she liked the other one.
what I'm thinking, maybe born in Bridgeport, family moved around. Because the dad.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier when you and I were talking about it. You said 2012 was when her dad got that house.
2012 is when that dad.
So I was wondering what that sounds like. That's about the time she started high school, if not
Yeah.
was going into maybe sophomore or junior year, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So was wondering where she grew up.
I'm gonna say fucking Rick. I don't know. Anyway, so
I think her and her mother must have moved around a bit while the father was moving around too. I know that there's
Well, because
reference
of
to
one-
a bunch of address changes when you when you look for the father.
like when you're best
You look for Everett
friends,
Smith.
dating brothers,
Mhm.
it's like the funnest thing ever. 'Cause it's like we get to hang out all the time together.
It's always like Yonkers or somewhere where it's like, oh, you had a job you were traveling for. So I wonder if the mother had a similar thing going on.
That's why she lives in New York.
Yeah.
No, I think she was living with me at this time. Anyways, but we're not friends anymore. But that's what happened. So me and my friend would go to the football games all the time because the football games were places that were like was the place that everybody went to. It's like the main.
I mean, they
place was
consider South Carolina
all the
South, so
boys,
yeah,
like,
football.
everybody, like, and the
Football
parents
games.
that would be, on the stadium watching the football game while the bad kids are just in the back doing whatever. So when we went to the game, it was just me there. I think it was just me there, and that's when I first saw Nick, and we were just walking
What
around
Nick?
the football thing with holding hands. When I tell you, I was so happy that we was holding hands because like I was like, this is my man.
As a voiceover artist, I would employ her.
Sweaty, I thought I was a shit because he was like the
Aw.
popular boy.
She's got a good voice, yeah.
And we weren't even in the same school.
She has this really cute, unique thing. If you listen to it, it's kind of nasally.
Who's this boy talking?
And I mean that in the best way possible. It's a really cute.
We were
Yeah.
in the same school, and I'd be like, that's my man, da-da-da. Like, we was holding hands, that's me and him forever and ever, like, all that. So, later on at that football game, we went on the dark side of the, like, of behind the stadium on the dark side. So, it was two sides. So, the other side was the other team side, and then our side was the home. So, we went on the home side. And we were standing by the tree or whatever. We started kissing. So that's when I first kissed him. That was my first.
Girl, no.
Like, I was like, what's going on? Like, I'm scared. His mouth was like, the way he kissed was like mad slimy. I was just standing there like, what am I doing? Like, I don't know what to do. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm gonna just sit here and just try to do what he's doing.
That's
Anyway,
cute.
So after we kissed, I was telling everybody. I wasn't telling everybody. I was telling my friends, kiss and tell. I was kissing and telling everything. But then the next day at school, this girl came up to me and was like, "Oh, did you kiss my boyfriend?" I said, "What? Your boyfriend?" I said, "Who's your boyfriend?" She was like, "Nick." I was like, "No, he's not your boyfriend. That's my boyfriend." And so nothing happened at school. But the crazy thing about it, like, it was a couple weeks later. Like, we know we'll be subbing each other on Twitter and stuff like that, looking at each other. Mind you, she's a whole grade higher than me. Well, he was
This older lady. The grade older, man.
He was like
This
kinda
cougar coming in.
Mhm.
like, move, bitch, bye. Like, that's my man. I kissed him. But I was tight. I was like, why? I was tight at Nick. I was like, why didn't you tell me that you had a girlfriend? Da-da-da-da. He's like, that's not my girl. You know how guys be lying. He was like, that's not my girl. So weeks later,
I like
I
her.
mean, fair, but also he was
Yeah.
13.
like break or the weekend, something like that. I think it was around Halloween. I'm not sure. So my best friend, she lived in like a gated community type of thing. So her house was already at the end, and this is when we had break everywhere. But this is when we had break, so her parents wasn't home. Like it was just friends over her house. So I was chilling, and so she had friends over her house. Her and her sister had friends over her house. It was like a little party situation. And I went outside and I started walking or something. I don't know what the fuck I was doing outside. And I saw, I don't know what to call her, the guy's girlfriend or whatever. I'm gonna call her Jessie. So I saw, like down the block, I saw her at somebody's house. So I'm like I ran back to
She's gonna go get a whole group.
see the bitch outside, like she with friends.
I need friends.
She tried me at school, like she pressed me.
Me.
About some guy that wasn't even claiming her. Like I was like, I'm about to get these poles on her. So my best friend was like, wait, let me go get my sister. We about to go get her. So you know what I did? I didn't wait. I just ran.
I didn't wait.
I'm lying. I didn't go back. I didn't go back and tell them. Right when I saw the girl outside, I went to go attack her. Tell me why she was around family and all that. That was the most dumbest shit ever. I got my ass jumped.
Oh.
No, she jumped right into a fist fight with those people.
Something going on. They ran and went to the fight and was fighting bitches, fighting grandmothers, fighting mothers, fighting sisters, nieces, uncles, all that. The whole family was at that house that day, and it was only me and my best friend and her sister, and some other guys that was not like trying to get into it or whatever. But me and my best friend was really trying to go ham on a bitch. Like she saw me fighting, my best friend jumped in, fucking her up. But then her cousin, the girl cousin, bro, she was real broad looking, like she was real big, like mannish type shit, like those big bone bitches. Like she came and this is when I was getting my hair done too, cause her sister did braids and she was doing my hair, and I had half a head in my head. Girl, when I tell you I got dragged that night by her uppity man cousin, I was like, I was gonna go beat this bitch up. Why did I get beat up by the family? Grandma was punching. Motherfucking mama was punching. I went home that day. I went home the next day, balls spot. My mom like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why you look like that? I said, Mom, I just beat up. She said, did you win? I was like, no. She said, get your ass in the car. I said, damn. My mom was so mad at me. She was disappointed in me. But after that boy still kept on talking to me. I don't know what happened with them, but that boy kept on talking to me. I said, you gotta go, deuces, cause you let me get beat up. Like he didn't say nothing to the girl. He didn't say nothing.
You let me get beat up.
He didn't say nothing about it either.
Man, it was just over because she tried to press me like in front of people at the school. Like I'm not about to sit here and be pressed. Like that's disrespectful. I'm highly big on respect, and I was type embarrassed too. Cause how this guy is gonna kiss me, knowing he got a girlfriend, knowing I was type, and he was the whole entire time at the game. He was holding my hand. We was walking back and forth in front of people. He was not letting my hand go. Like my hand was sweating. He was not letting my hand go. So how is all that publicness there and nobody? Oh, that's when people saw. But like, you gonna sit here and put me in public knowing you got a girlfriend? You gonna flaunt me in public knowing you got a girlfriend? What? Girl, I was highly disappointed in myself, but I didn't know, so it was his fault. It was his fault.
Yeah, like how she started on YouTube with like, no, the camera's my friend.
Mind you,
like she looks at the camera and says, "Girl," and I find that so endearing.
Yeah, I only lost like 3 fights in my life.
It makes you feel like you're having a conversation with her, and I've answered her many times.
The opposite of being afraid of a camera.
Yeah.
My neighborhood, so I'm not gonna count them bitches. But anyways, yeah. So was like, so yeah, so she got one of my braids and she took a picture of it and she said, here we kill her on Twitter. I was like, bitch, I'll fuck you up again. I don't care if I lost. I will fuck you up. If you don't keep on sitting here, publicly trying to play me on Twitter, I will fight you again. I don't care. But yeah, that's how my first kiss turned into a fight. But that boy's still on my dick. Well, he's still.
That's a hilarious story.
That boy's still on my dick.
That's so funny. She's a really funny person.
Mm-hmm.
She was a really funny person. We're in the last bit of the show. We can move to December 8th. Lauren was using Bumble,
Yep.
which plenty of people do. Plenty of people meet up that way. And
Yeah.
she swiped right on or whatever, started communication with Matt LaFountain. Matt LaFontaine, as pronounced by some people.
LaFountain.
We're going to say LaFountain for the most part. I don't like LaFontaine.
I'm not playing with that.
Yeah, Matt LaFountain. I am aware of the other pronunciation. And they met up the evening of December 11th, and at 6:30 in the morning, December 12th, 911 was called to respond to Lauren, who had passed away. So we can go. I'm not, holding a limit necessarily at the end of this one on our outrage or further speculation down the road right now. You know what I mean? We can talk about Lauren in relation to maybe if you guys, we've already talked about what would drive you to social media platforms. We know why somebody would try to find a date in the middle of a pandemic through Bumble. There's no platform blaming. There's no victim blaming on that. This is rational human behavior. Things I like about Bumble, the female communicates first.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite thing about it is that it's female party driven.
Yeah.
And to abuse it, you have to be a coercive, intent-driven scumbag, in my opinion.
Right.
We're going to spend a lot of time explaining why Matt LaFountain most likely is that. But it is my opinion she fell victim to that man, and just things I've noticed from this episode in relation to this as a true crime story, since we'll go ahead and peel that Band-Aid, are it doesn't seem to me, even after watching her tell a story, that she's even a regular drinker. She drinks at parties or social events. She's a social drinker.
Mm-hmm.
She might drink with a date. We know that. But a regular drug user, no.
Mm-hmm.
There's questions we have that I feel like are answered. From just some simple things in these videos. The amount of work and potential and herself put into this space, this sanctity of her space. Notably, again, she was found, and the crime scene was her apartment.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's pretty relevant to the lack of consent on her part for what I'm assuming is a good chunk of that evening. Seems like She had a really good relationship with all of her siblings and family. And I could imagine why. She's hilarious. She was hilarious. That is a hilarious story, the editing.
And I don't really want to. I don't want to nitpick at other online dating platforms or anything like that, but I will say the reason I chose Bumble is because I felt safe. Like, I felt like it was a safe platform in a certain way because I had the power of either starting or not starting a conversation with someone. And when you match with someone on Bumble, you have 24 hours to decide if you want to talk to that person.
Yeah.
And either you are busy that day and accidentally forget that you were even using Bumble, or you can decide to start a conversation or don't. And it's not, you don't have to feel bad about it. You don't have to feel like you're gonna get a message from that person, because you're not. Like,
How conversations in a social space should be, you shouldn't be preyed upon.
Mm-hmm.
That's liberating as it could get for that.
Mm-hmm. And I know that, everybody kind of views people in their own way. So, like, maybe she was just trying to find a dude to talk to for a little bit or something, like there must have been obviously something about his profile where she at least wanted to say hi.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I definitely think there's coercion on his part once we get some phone records in a criminal investigation. But there must have been communication. I mean, you can't. She doesn't seem like a shallow kind of person who even in messages would necessarily set up an evening the way he made it out.
Mm-hmm.
In any way.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you there. Like, there's...
And even if she was attracted to the idea that he was successful, all she was thinking about was him buying her flowers.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
like, the whole gold digger thing's kind of stupid in my opinion, too.
That's not even a valid
that's
talking point. And of course someone's... Well, the same misogynist who would say that would also say that they deserve a woman if they were successful. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a real talking point.
Mm-hmm.
The gold digger thing. There's
that's why
examples where it's obvious. Yeah, but
that's not part of this narrative either.
Yeah, no, we don't bash Bumble or her trying to go on a date. It's understandable. It's been a pandemic too. And you heard the story of this Nick cat, her first kiss. So maybe
manipulated her.
Maybe she's trying to find something outside of that realm of what she would normally go for. Yeah, exactly. Maybe someone older who's successful and established.
Yeah.
And, wanting that or being attracted to that does not. That's not criminal or wrong.
I will say that's what you do at 23.
Yeah.
That's what I did at 23, and I will wholeheartedly admit that.
Mm-hmm.
Before I dated dudes 10 years older than me, just like this girl.
Yeah. Oh, Harry Anthony was married.
Yeah, I have no.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I
like,
nothing here.
Well, back in the Zanga days, Harry Anthony.
Oh man.
Back when you could really find somebody.
Find some love on Zanga.
Find somebody, Bumble again. I feel like it's still one of the safest options out there. There's gonna be predators no matter where.
There's gonna be predators everywhere, everywhere, and that's not at the fault of her at all.
No.
No, never.
No, yeah, and
I can't think of a single situation where I've ever seen a woman fall victim to someone and went, yeah, well, I mean, she was insert whatever the fuck here.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I dropped an F-bomb.
Oh, you're fine. We're well past the first hour, and like Lauren dropped him, and I'm glad she did. She also gave us some laughs.
Mm-hmm.
She did.
Which is that means a lot to me after having to kind of research grim topics around Lauren. I've been saving watching particularly the last one because I thought maybe that's funny, you know, for being on air with you guys. Wanted to really focus when we did any previous case. A lot of things come up: exploitation,
Yeah.
profiting.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you doing this? Is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I want this particular stream to be an answer as to why we did a week on this case. I wanted to answer all the questions. Lauren is why. The people who survived Lauren are why. The GoFundMe is in the description for this video. If you have any money to donate, consider the GoFundMe in the description. Justice for Lauren. I believe it goes to help coordinate everything, including legal fees. You know, this whole situation started with a lawsuit,
Yeah.
which it shouldn't have.
Yeah.
It should have
It should have
started.
never been.
It should have never started.
It should have started with how the police initially reported it, finding her body, and the coroner's report. It should have never become what it has become now. But
And that's the part somebody needs to be held accountable for.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And justice seems like an uphill battle a lot of the time, but you know, we have things happening right now with this Lauren Fields case that's we might see something happen. We might actually see justice this time. I really do. I really am holding out that there will be enough undeniable evidence that something will happen. Also want to use the stream to address the commonality that I think I want to use for all. Like, I don't want this to be the last time I cover true crime. And I want to do a 5-day format for the next time there's a story like this one. But I think the thing that gets me fired up the most are these female victims that don't get the light they should. And while I realize we'll have to cover victims that are trending, no matter their demographic, there's just certain cases that are going to get me, and I feel like deserve a whole 5-day exploration. And I've done quite a bit of work in the last few days. I'm going to keep doing it on little elements of this situation. A notable thing you really can't find anywhere in the press about Lauren is that, as far as I can dig through social media, through the press, through their own like court records, there's no association between her and any gang activity, any drug activity. She's a good person.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty clean sheet.
Maybe got into a fight when she was 13.
The whole family's the same way. Hey, if you
But
had
I
been in a
mean-
fight when you were 13, you weren't. You should go back and do 13 again,
Yeah.
because you didn't live it. You didn't live it right.
I guess I should take this opportunity to apologize to Brian Fish for punching him in the face.
You know you were far from the last person that did that. That year.
Just that year.
just that year, I kept going. That he was getting beat up in the high school and it was his mouth every time.
Every time.
Every time.
That's what it was when I punched him in the face. You know what? No, I don't apologize.
Lauren, I'm going to do some digging too and see if this apartment we're seeing in these videos is the same apartment we're talking about in this case.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to drop a little bit of my emotions at the end of this and move toward detective mode. And I wanted to just let's celebrate. I knew she had laughs for us in here. You know?
She did.
But I want to see if this is relevant. Maybe I can't get a floor plan and us build our own crime scene analysis. Should be easy to do given the detail they've given us from all the reports and the on-site initial everything. I read the entirety of Matt's initial statement, which was he woke up and she had fluid coming out of her nose. She was laying on her right side and was seemingly not breathing. He put her on the floor to do chest compressions. Was visibly shaken when the police got there. But here's the
Would
thing.
you like me to throw a link to her channel into the chat?
Which one?
Her YouTube channel.
Yes.
Awesome. Because boy, if I'm not going to go back to that story about Nick
Mm-hmm.
when I'm feeling sad or alone.
Oh, so good.
See, even the comments are of people like us who went back to see who she was.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of the comments I'm seeing on this video.
Put it in the announcements tab.
Yeah.
A copy to this YouTube channel. So if you follow us, if you're in our Discord, there's no active invites to the Discord, so no point in bringing it up. But it's there for us. You guys, Lala Smith on YouTube. I think, story time. How my first kiss became a fight is worth it. What a memory.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I like it when people who are gone or I'm in the middle of something grim can make me laugh. Rare thing to do when you're like specifically trying to build a character profile on someone and it's like, oh, well, they were hilarious. That's hilarious. I'm using that. You know, they say things like, oh, I'm going to use that in the future. But where did I go? Let me go back through here. Round back around before we close her down and start this week of true crime investigation.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be a lot. Here we go. No, we've hit every point, gang, that I really wanted to hit with Lauren. Everything that I had researched that I could dig up that I know about her. Again, nothing negative. Couldn't find the only thing negative about her is her first kiss became a fight. It's not negative.
And she started it.
And she started it. It's not negative. It's hilarious. Let's see. We can pop open the chat here too if there's anything in relation going in.
Oh, Jameson said, even if she had a record, it wouldn't mean anything. I think that's accurate.
Yeah, even if she would have had a record, it doesn't mean anything. I just feel it relevant to show and prove and have documented for our own research sake too that this smearing we're about to see by a defense attorney,
Mm-hmm.
It's coming and it's already starting.
it's already started and it's gross and it's wrong.
It's disgusting.
There's a lot of things. I know that we were watching a clip from earlier, and just the verbiage that they were using to describe her dad. Or no, her mom, sorry.
Her mom.
Her mom. Where they were almost surprised about her mom, but like in that way where I don't want to give too much away because I want to vent about this at the right time.
Oh, well, I mean, we can right now. Because we're specifically talking about Lauren and her family and like the how the news popped off with
We saw a clip earlier today where, who was it?
It was
Oh,
it was
I
an
don't even remember who
official.
it
It was an
was.
official with the actual police district who saw a well-written email
Yeah, like
and
she
then pushed
specifically said her
down,
mom wrote a well-written email
but
to
said it in a
her
way like
Like
that was
she was
kind of
surprised it was
she
derogatory.
was
well written.
surprised it
Yeah,
was
it was a
well
little
written.
derogatory and it was
Yeah.
very rude the way that she said it.
Yeah.
And like I remember we were watching that clip and specifically I went off about that. I was like, "Oh, so you think she doesn't know how to write a fucking email?"
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
A lot of people are trying to come at this case without bringing up race, but I feel like it really plays in, especially with the way that she specifically handled her mom's email.
That too. I'm like
Not to
that's going to
mention the
be
whole police department, which I can pop off on that later.
Yeah.
yeah, there's
Oh,
just there's so many other players in this
Mhm.
that need to be held accountable for
Mhm.
not only what they think, but the damaging way they chose to portray what they think.
Yeah.
That's what's wrong here. Other than the fact that this poor girl is dead
Yeah.
Yeah.
and she shouldn't be.
Shouldn't be.
But the way that this has been carried out since December 12th is disgusting.
Absolutely.
Period.
These families have to fight, and we're gonna
And you will
see
find that out this
we're gonna continuously see the family's character brought into question. I guarantee it. And it's again, it's like the defense will forget even already in the press that the family is the reason this has become an investigation. The family is the reason you have these are caring, loving, intelligent, smart.
Yeah.
These are humans.
It's like, honey, your discrimination is showing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. What
I
is
guess
this
I
from
just
Jameson?
don't get it. I don't understand. We'll pretend for a hot second, just a hot second, that she is a horrible person. Say she was terrible, raised by terrible people in a terrible environment. Say she was. Point out to me where that says that she deserves whatever happened to her.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, nowhere. Oh, Jameson.
How-
So did
how
you
did-
see Jameson's continuing point here? Yeah, my point about her record is that black females are criminalized from birth. So if she had a criminal record, it doesn't carry much weight with me.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. So I just wanted to
Absolutely.
express that one out loud.
I mean,
Jameson.
and I
well,
wanna-
well said, friend. Yes.
I want to make a
Yes.
point of that, okay? I was raised in a very, very closed-minded town in Texas. I am Texas born and raised. I will always be happy and proud about that because Texas. But that doesn't mean that some of those kids were evil with how they looked at me. And if there's nobody, if there's any viewers out there right now who don't know what I'm talking about, I am half black. I am, according to the census, an African American. And according to myself as well, I am very much an African American. And just being half black was its own experience in Little Podunk, Texas, where I live.
I would imagine.
And I see a lot of bullshit with this case. Not necessarily with what is in front of us right now, like as far as like what we're talking about, but a lot of the conversations that have been had and a lot of the way that this popped off is just mind-boggling to me. Like nobody even really knew about this outside of this horrible city,
Yeah.
horribly corrupt city, until Cardi B spoke up. Because Cardi B posted about it.
Sadly,
it took,
that's where I
That's
found
what
it
it.
first.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it took, and that is gross.
Yeah.
when the family has spent over a month just trying to get the police to do their job and investigate the scene the way it rightfully should have in the first place. So much has already been eroded away and degraded. So much evidence is probably lost because they didn't want to do their job. They didn't care to do their job for this case. Because to them, there wasn't one.
There wasn't a case.
There wasn't a case until Cardi B said something.
And they probably, you know, much like that pencil pusher at the city was surprised that there was an eloquent email. They were probably surprised there was a family that came to the action, which is, why are you surprised by that?
Yeah.
And how often does that actually happen here in Bridgeport, Connecticut?
It's really strange because it also gives you this insight into how some people think, into how they view other people. Like, I know that there's a lot of people out there who have that protagonist view of themselves. The rest of us are just NPCs that don't mean anything. Like, oh, well, this happened, but we're not really going to worry about it because it doesn't actually involve us. Oh, we know this guy, so, you know, like, we're going to leave it alone kind of thing. Nobody's going to say anything, and then they just ignored the family.
Yeah.
To a point where, yesterday, they threatened to close the investigation if they didn't get DNA testing from the family.
The whole family. And again, this is somebody who was close with their siblings and visited their family
Yeah.
regularly.
This
And their family,
the
you know,
brother
had been
admitted
there
he
that
was
evening.
there that night
He was there December
before
11th
she died.
at 11:53 p.m. The brother was there.
He admitted to it and said, take my DNA, and they still wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Now they're threatening to close the investigation if they don't get DNA swabs from everyone. From the family. Are you kidding me?
That's awful.
Allegedly, Lauren is one of dozens. This seems to be a more normal thing than people realize in Bridgeport. And I believe that.
Yeah, absolutely. That was about to be my follow-up question. I know that this one is finally getting a little bit of coverage, and I'm hoping that it takes off and it gets a ton of coverage. But my question is, what are we not seeing? How many more is there?
Yeah. I'll tell you right now, while investigating Bridgeport, I've found a few different types of criminal problem I wasn't expecting to find. One being gang violence. In the one town of Bridgeport, Connecticut, they have 4 active gangs that frequently commit violence. Like gun violence, physical violence toward each other. They fight all the time. They're moving drugs. They're doing gang stuff. They're in Bridgeport, Connecticut. You have an unusual amount of preparedness, public service announcement, and just drug prevention infrastructure for GHB abuse, which is interesting. You have a lot of different types of strange crime there. And it just, I don't know. It like the way it's unsafe, it's one of those not surface level unsafes. Does that make sense? Like it probably, we saw the Google Street View. That seems like a very safe place. Those houses seem very nice. Everything seems like there's enough space for everybody. I saw a couple public parks in the area and it seemed really nice. But
It isn't your textbook scary.
4 gangs and,
Yeah.
you know,
And they're sweeping victims under the rug like this?
10 police officers dismissed from the force over the last year, right?
They've already dismissed 2 detectives from this case.
This case. One of them better be Detective Cronin, who we'll get to. It's going to be a long week. We'll get to Detective Cronin specifically.
I studied that in a class, Jameson. The critical race theorist Derek Bell, he says that gang violence is directly related to police corruption. So the more corruption, the more gang.
It's something I really want to point out about Bridgeport, Connecticut in particular. One thing we can prove for certain is there's police corruption. Another thing we can prove for certain is there's an unusual amount of gang violence. 4 individual gangs in Bridgeport, Connecticut. This isn't
Which is very
Manhattan.
interesting.
It's
Like
not
I
Los
said,
Angeles County. It's Bridgeport,
right.
Connecticut. One city within the county. Like, it's not even. That's insane. You know,
It's
and
not your stereotypical. It's not what you would think of whenever you think of like that place is sketch, you know?
yeah, yeah. But I think we'll slowly be unraveling, and we'll be watching the unraveling of Bridgeport, Connecticut having a police, some kind of police criminal infrastructure. Like, there's something going on within the police. There's a criminal infrastructure within the police.
I mean, there's already so many conflicts of interest that we've found within the police.
Yeah, already.
Based on looking at this case alone.
Yeah, yeah. And
It's gross.
It's unusual that place is so just covered in GHB abuse. Of all things. You mean the drug that comes in liquid form and is known for being slipped into people's drinks?
How weird.
Why is that being made and distributed there?
Right.
Because, you know, if you're tracking the source of something like ecstasy, at some point you're going to find a town with a bunch of gangs pushing the ecstasy pills, and you might find the one cook in that town. It's probably an old crazy white dude cooking something up in a warehouse. You know, it's always something wild like that. And I can't help but to think, because of the age of everybody but Lauren in this story, that there might be something like that involved too. There
It
might
makes
be
you wonder.
something kooky and drug related going on in that town. There's something kooky and
Something-
drug related going on. And it has to do with the police. It has to have something to do with the police.
Yeah, I would like to see police record of how many people had been arrested or how many reports had been made of date rape.
Oh, well, in Bridgeport alone, enough
Just
to
there, yeah.
enough to warrant all of their rehabs, which there's more than one in Bridgeport, Connecticut, to have a specific infrastructure for people on GHB or dealing with GHB addiction. Which addiction to
wow.
GHB? What? I didn't even know
That's
that was a
very
thing that happened.
interesting.
That's a peripheral thing.
yeah,
We hear that
no.
often. That hurt where they were. Bridgeport, Connecticut is a very strange place, and I have just the weirdest of feelings about it. The strangest of feelings about it. I think it has a lot to do with Lauren's fate. You know what happened here. Oh.
Yeah,
All right,
I'm with
King.
you.
I say we close her down for the evening. I say we close her down. Tomorrow we ask, who is Matt LaFountain? And we get into it. We start building our theories. I start breaking down the evidence and all the research I've done into this. We can start going off the rails and being mad. There's no hard format. We're not staying hard, necessarily into one lane like we did today, but that is the overall topic for tomorrow. Who is Matt LaFountain?
I have words for Matt LaFountain, whether he did anything or not.
If left to my own devices or given enough subscriber donations, I would be full Molly Go Lightly at Matt LaFountain's front door right now.
Yeah, same.
Right now. I know he did it. And that's the end of it for me. I have my own working theory. I'm going to lay it out. I'm going to lay it out for all of you and dare you to poke holes in it. All right.
Because I'll poke right the fuck back.
Exactly. Oh, with me as always, Queen Lux, Arianthe. I love you guys.
I love you too.
We're going to pop on out of here to the end card. And everybody be sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you want to see some justice for Lauren like we do and you feel like the press should talk about this case more, more than they have, talk about it just as much as they talked about someone like Gabby Petito. Please share this video with the hashtag Justice for Lauren. Please share the link to the GoFundMe. I've put it in the description. If even $2 can end up in that GoFundMe as a result of people having clicked through this video, it will have made all the work we've done this week worth it. Love you guys to death. Prayers to the Fields and Smith family.